So if you guys know anything about Project B, it is obviously a new league. But on their social medias, they have been very, very clear that they are following players that have signed on the league. Like if you look at their Twitter right now, you can see they're following. Originally, it was just like YouTube, Alyssa Thomas, and Naka. That was it. It was like YouTube, AEG Global, Fever Global, and HBS Tweets. It was all of these. But now this is where it gets spooky. It gets spooky. And I mean this, like, I don't know.
Imagine a new league appearing out of nowhere, not with a blitz of commercials or press conferences, but with a series of silent, strategic clicks on a social media page. This is how Project B announced its arrival, not with a shout, but with a whisper that sent shockwaves through the entire world of professional basketball. If you knew where to look, the evidence was right there in their following list. It started small, innocuous even. A few corporate entities, a couple of player names. But for those paying attention, this was the first move in a high-stakes chess game, a silent declaration of war on the established order of women's basketball.
Now this is where it gets spooky. It gets spooky. And I mean this, like, I don't know if when it's all said and done, we're going to see all these players in the league. We're going to probably see more. We're going to see more than this in the league, if we're being honest. But I have to say, it's looking like Kelsey Mitchell, Camila Cardoso are guarantees to be in this league, as is Maureen Johannes by the looks of things.
This wasn't just a new place to play. It was a planned operation, a direct challenge to the WNBA's dominance, and they were building their army right out in the open. The story we're about to tell you is one of secret deals, immense pressure on players, and a future for the sport that is now completely up for grabs. And it all started with a star named Kelsey Mitchell being backed into a corner she never saw coming. Before we dive into this unfolding drama, if you're fascinated by the behind-the-scenes power struggles that shape the sports we love, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. The first real sign that this was more than just speculation, that Project B was a legitimate threat, came with the unsettling situation surrounding Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell isn't just a player. She's a proven WNBA star, a cornerstone of the Indiana Fever, an athlete whose speed and scoring prowess have made her one of the most exciting guards to watch in the entire league. And yet, behind the scenes, rumors began to swirl that the league or her own team had forced her into an impossible position, a classic catch, 22 with no easy way out.
There's a decent chance you'll get her eventually. And yeah, like this is a stacked roster so far. Kelsey Mitchell, Cardoso, like this is so far looking like it's going to be as stacked a roster. It's as stacked a roster as you're going to get outside of like Stewie, and if Stewie and Fee aren't going to be in it. But I wonder what's going to happen if Stewie and Fee end up
The story goes that she was being blocked from participating in another new offseason league, something called Unrivaled, or that she was forced to take a dramatically reduced role in pay, effectively sidelining her from a major opportunity during her own time off. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a professional athlete at the peak of her career being potentially told she couldn't use her own offseason to earn a living and grow her brand elsewhere. This isn't just about basketball. It's about basic career autonomy and financial freedom. The phrase that started circulating in insider circles was that she wasn't even allowed to play the full-on Unrivaled. That specific wording is incredibly telling. It points to shadowy contractual clauses, behind-the-scenes pressure, and a system seemingly designed to keep players on a very tight leash, limiting their ability to capitalize on their own fame and skills outside of the WNBA's direct umbrella. This move with Mitchell was more than just a single administrative decision. It was a message, a warning shot fired from the WNBA to every single player on its roster. The message was clear: we control your career, and we will not tolerate you explore your options, especially when those options threaten our business model and our perceived monopoly on top-tier women's professional basketball.
I'll be always talking about like value of Yai. Like if you look at the league, maybe Josite stays there for development. I think Josite is She's been unbelievable. She's been unbelievable. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Emma Messman in this league, because she's a mercenary. If you guys don't know about Emma Messman, she will literally play wherever as long as they pay her money. Like, she's not somebody that's like a loyal defender. She's literally a mercenary. Other players that I expect her to be in the league. But like Leia Phoebe, she's one of the best players in EuroLeague. Now at the WNBA.
But in trying to silence one star and make an example of her, the league may have inadvertently ignited a fire they cannot control. This heavy-handed tactic, rather than quelling the rebellion, serve as a powerful recruitment ad for Project B, showcasing the very limitations and control issues that the new league promised to abolish. It highlighted a fundamental tension that had been simmering for years, proving that the players were hungry for alternatives, for a system that treated them as partners, not property. Because while the WNBA was seemingly trying to lock down its talent with restrictive measures, Project B was simultaneously executing a breathtakingly ambitious and sophisticated global strategy. Their social media following list didn't just stop with a few intriguing WNBA names. It exploded, becoming a digital treasure map, leading to a worldwide revolution in the sport.
Camila Cardoso are guarantees to be in this league, as is Maureen Johannes by the looks of things. It looks like it's going to be Maureen Johannes, Jonquel Jones, Jewel Lloyd, Camila Cardoso. Jonquel Jones is getting that bag, by the way, from she is getting that bag from what's their names? From I'm blanking on their names. I'm blanking Fenerbahce.
Suddenly, you didn't just see American stars. You saw a verified who's who of international superstars appearing on their radar. They went straight for the jugular, targeting the absolute best players from the world's biggest and most passionate basketball markets. We're talking about Li Meng, arguably the top player and a national icon in all of China, a country with fanatical basketball, following numbering in the hundreds of millions. We're talking about Mai Yamamoto, a massive star and household name in Japan, another nation with a deep love for the game. This was an accident or a random scouting list. This was a calculated, brilliant move to instantly tap into massive, established fan bases that the WNBA has only ever dreamed of fully capturing, giving Project B an immediate global footprint that would take any other league decades to build. But they didn't stop there.
If Stewie and Fee aren't going to be in it. But I wonder what's going to happen if Stewie and Fee end up in that as well. Like, I wonder what Angel's doing I wonder what Angel Reese is doing basketball wise. I miss Angel Hoops watching highlights, like, but she's not in Unrivaled. Is she gonna enter Unrivaled? Like, that would have been the funniest thing for Unrivaled. Like, I mean this, they should do like a Royal Rumble. I know they all have their entrance musics for the one-on-one, but it should be like a Royal Rumble where you play up to 5 points and whoever enters first.
The EuroLeague has long been the premier off-season destination for WNBA talent, a traditional pathway where players could supplement their income. But Project B looked to become its direct competitor and ultimate successor. Established stars like Jonquel Jones and rising talents like Leonie Fiebig, players who are dominant forces both in Europe and the States, suddenly appeared on that fateful list. These are WNBA-level talents who now had a new, potentially more lucrative and prestigious option that wasn't just a side gig, but a primary component of a global tour. Project B's pitch was brutally simple, and for many players, after years of being underpaid, it was impossible to refuse. We will pay you the most money. We will get your face in front of the most eyes, all across the globe, from Istanbul to Tokyo to Sao Paulo. You will travel the world as ambassadors of the game, and together, we will grow the sport of women's basketball into a true international powerhouse, unconstrained by borders.
The Unrivaled is just done as a concept. Because I'm like, I just don't see how it's I don't see realistically how, when it comes to Unrivaled, it can survive when you've got much better, like a much better league. It's 5v5, there's more people. You've brought in again some of the top players already, and you've already brought in the top player in China, the top player in Japan. They've been smarter about it. They've been smarter about it. Like, they haven't pitched their whole thing around, oh, you know.
This expansive global vision made the WNBA's attempt to clamp down on Kelsey Mitchell seem even more outdated, provincial, and restrictive, painting the old guard as an institution fearful of the future rather than embracing it. This new, volatile landscape has fundamentally given rise to a different kind of athlete, one whose priorities are decisively shifting away from blind organizational loyalty and toward pure, unadulterated opportunity and self-determination. The old model of playing for one team in the summer and one, maybe two, teams in the winter is being utterly shattered by the forces of globalization and new capital. In its place, we're seeing the rapid emergence of what can only be described as basketball mercenaries, and it's crucial to understand that this isn't a derogatory term, but a descriptor of a new professional reality. These are elite professionals, veterans of the grind, who finally understand their true worth in an expanding marketplace and are willing to go wherever they are valued most, both financially and professionally. The perfect example, as often cited, is someone like Emma Meesman. As one source bluntly put it, she's the archetype of a modern mercenary. She will literally play for whoever pays her the most money and offers the best competitive situation. She is not someone who is a loyal defender of any one league or team out of sentiment. She is a global citizen of basketball, a master of her craft, and her elite services understandably go to the highest and most serious bidder. And why on earth shouldn't they? For decades, female basketball players have been notoriously and scandalously underpaid compared to their male counterparts, often having to travel overseas for months on end just to make a comfortable living. So, when a well-funded league like Project comes along and offers not just competitive pay, but truly life-changing generational wealth, can you really blame a player for taking it? This mercenary mindset isn't a character flaw. It's a direct, rational result of the new, long overdue opportunities being created. Players are no longer begging for scraps from one single table. They're being invited to a veritable feast at multiple, lavishly set tables around the world. And for the first time, they're finally able to choose the one that serves them the best meal and treats them with the most respect. So, with the momentum building and names like Kelsey Mitchell looking like a near guarantee for Project B, alongside other significant WNBA names, such as a promising rookie force Camila Cardoso and the dazzlingly skilled Marine Johannes, the inevitable, gripping question becomes, who is next? The dominoes are beginning to fall in slow motion, and each one that tips over makes it exponentially easier for the next one to follow, creating a cascade effect that can redefine an entire sport. The speculation is running wild among fans, agents, and executives alike, filling message boards and social media with frantic predictions. What about a transcendent superstar of the caliber of Breanna Stewart? What happens if Stewie and her fellow elites, the very players who have carried the WNBA on their shoulders for years, decide that the global stage and the massive, unprecedented financial incentives of Project B are too compelling to ignore? The very fact that we can seriously and realistically ask that question shows how much the ground has shifted beneath the WNBA's feet in a matter of months. This isn't just about role players or mid-tier talents anymore. It's about the face of the league type talents, the MVP candidates, the players whose jerseys sell out arenas. And what about the newer stars, the ones who are just building their brands and considering their long-term futures? Where does someone like the charismatic and dominant Angel Reese fit into all of this? Her notable absence from other new leagues like Unrivaled has fans and analysts everywhere wondering if she's strategically waiting for a bigger offer, a more global and prestigious platform that only a league like Project B can provide. Project B has successfully and masterfully created an atmosphere of FOMO, fear of missing out, not just among fans, but among the players themselves. No one wants to be the last one left on a sinking ship, and every new leaked name or credible rumor that gets connected to the league turns up the pressure on everyone else to seriously consider making the jump to what is being pitched as the future. All of this intense speculation, all of these secret signings and aggressive global raids ultimately lead to one burning, multi-million-dollar question that hangs over the entire basketball world. What in the world does Caitlin Clark do? Think about her truly unique and unprecedented position. She is, without a single doubt, the most marketable, talked about, and influential player in the sport right now, a generational talent who has already transcended the game itself. Her highly publicized entry into the WNBA was treated like a royal coronation, with record-breaking TV ratings and sold-out arenas following her every move. But her long-term career path, which once seemed like a straight and predetermined line to multiple league MVP awards and championships, has suddenly become fraught with fascinating, world-altering possibilities. Project B would undoubtedly make her their number one, all-hands-on-deck target, their crown jewel around which they could build their entire global brand. They would likely offer her a contract so immense that the WNBA, under its current salary cap structure, simply cannot mathematically match, along with a level of global promotion and marketing that would aim to make her a household name on every continent, not just in America. The absolute deafening silence from Caitlin Clark's camp regarding the entire Project B and Kelsey Mitchell situation is, in itself, profoundly telling. This isn't just a minor league dispute she can ignore. This is a fundamental reshaping of the entire industry she now leads. For Clark, the calculation is no longer just about winning a WNBA title. It's about defining her legacy, maximizing her earnings in a notoriously short athletic career, and deciding on a philosophical level whether she wants to be the queen of an established kingdom or founding mother and the central pillar of a new, ambitious, and risky global empire. The pressure on her from both sides, from the WNBA's tradition and from Project B's potential, will be immense and unrelenting, and her eventual decision, whenever it comes, will likely dictate the balance of power in women's basketball for the next decade, making this the most pivotal moment in the sport's history. So, where does all this leave the future of the sport we love? It leaves it at a dramatic and unprecedented crossroads, a pivotal moment that would define an entire generation of athletes and fans. The fallout from Project B's meteoric rise is already creating a fractured, but potentially much richer and more dynamic landscape. The WNBA can no longer operate as if it is the only premier game in town, a reality that is forcing a long overdue internal reckoning. The league's front office and team owners are now confronted with a direct challenge to their business model, pushing them to seriously reevaluate everything from the strictures of their players' salary caps, which have long been a point of contention, to their primarily North American-centric marketing and growth strategy. The attempt to block a star like Kelsey Mitchell, rather than squashing the rebellion, may have inadvertently become Project B's most effective recruiting tool. They can now sit across from any player and their agent and say, "Look what they're willing to do to control you. Look at the barriers they erect. We offer not just money, but ultimate freedom and a stake in your own destiny." This is no longer just a battle over talent. It's a profound battle over ideology and the very soul of the professional women's athlete. It's a fundamental fight between an old guard model of strict top-down control and a new, disruptive model built entirely on player empowerment, personal brand growth, and ambitious global expansion. The very concept of an offseason is becoming obsolete for the elite tier players. We are rapidly moving toward a world where the top female basketball players are year-round global superstars, commanding audiences and paychecks from multiple leagues and continents, much like top European soccer stars do with their club and international commitments. This isn't a downer. It's the dawn of a new era of celebrity and financial viability. The genie of player agency and global opportunity is not only out of the bottle, it shattered it completely, and there is absolutely no putting the pieces back together. The players have seen the future, and it is one where they hold the power. Their value is determined by a global market, and their influence stretches far beyond a single league's borders. This is a new reality, and every decision from here on out will be made in its shadow. The world of women's basketball will never be the same. What began as a handful of silent follows on a Twitter account has exploded into a full-blown revolution. Kelsey Mitchell's corner was just the first battlefield in a war that is now being waged on a global scale, from the courts of China to the arenas of Europe. Project B exposed a hidden tension, a deep-seated desire among players for more. More money, more control, more respect, and a bigger stage. They weaponized that desire and built a league around it overnight. The established order has been put on notice. The players are no longer just assets to be managed. They are powerful free agents in their own careers, with options their predecessors could only dream of. The revolution in women's basketball is not coming. It is already here, and its soldiers are the very stars we cheer for every night. This story is evolving by the day. What do you think will happen next? Will the WNBA adapt and change? Or will it see a mass exodus of its top talent? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of every shocking development in this ongoing saga, make sure you subscribe. The game is changing and you have a front row seat.